Ready.
Hi everyone, welcome to another hashtag Ask Jim. This is episode number 26, and thanks to everyone who is watching tonight. And we've obviously got new prospective franchisees in for the training, so we welcome and we thank you for hanging around and watching this. And we've got a bunch of questions as well submitted by them, so thank you for writing them down. And we'll call your name out and get to them in a minute. I'll just run through a few intros as well. So with me tonight is Haydar, Hussein, and Ali Olmez. Now, if I had $1 for every time Jim mentions Haydar on here, I wouldn't be sitting here at the moment. And Haydar is obviously the founder of the Jim's Cleaning Group, and Ali, he's right.
He's not actually the founder, but he's the one that made it successful.
Thank you.
Founder sounds a bit better though.
Well, founder of the Jim's Cleaning Group, which is a little bit different.
You
to
ain't,
Jim's
because you subbed it.
You're right.
Yeah.
So Jim's Cleaning was around, but it's become a group. And it's...
Yeah, and Ali Olmez is the CEO as well. So Ali's his right-hand man, and Haydar quite openly attributes a lot of success to Ali. And we've got a couple of great interviews which we pushed up, I think, yesterday as well on the YouTube channel and Facebook. So have a watch of them, and they're really great. So I'll run through our traditional stuff here as we do. So thank you to everyone who attended the conferences last week. I know you had your comments here as well, the cleaning.
Yes.
How many come to that?
We had about 32 franchisors.
That's great.
Out of 48.
Oh, that's a really good turnout. So every year we have a bunch of conferences from divisions, and we have obviously the Jim's National Conference as well, and the Gala Dinner as well, which you came along. And we highly recommend next year, guys, make an effort to come down. It's just great for networking. I don't know how your franchisors find it, but that interaction between people and all that sort of stuff is really important.
Yeah, we find a lot of benefit in doing that.
Yeah.
Getting everyone together. Not only the conference itself, just afterwards, just having a couple of drinks and having a bit of a chit chat. Maybe a little bit of a dance. Rachel. That's quite good.
We also have a podcast. So for those of you who don't know, Jim's Group does have a podcast. It's called the Jim's Cast, appropriately named. So search that on iTunes and Spotify, and that's there. We also have the Jim Shop. We'll go into these a little bit more later on, but you can find them on the Jim Shop as well. There's a bunch of T-shirts and hats, and there's a code Jim's FSC20. So if you punch that in, you get a 20% discount as well. Not off them, it'll be off the merch, but I'll click through there. Tonight, books. So the favourite questions as always, that's Jim's book there. We've got biohistory as well. I'll give you one, hold that one there, Haydar. Yeah. And we will give these away, so make sure you're on the live feed leading questions and comments, and we'll get to them. And at the end, we'll give them away. And Haydar and Ali have been kind enough as well to give some of these away. So make sure you interact, and I think we'll probably give the majority in the audience here, but maybe one or two online. New content's every week going out on YouTube, so make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel, Facebook, Instagram. There's Jim's Group as well, and Jim Penman as well has Instagram. So we're nearly at 10. We want to get to 10,000, and when we get to 10,000, we're changing the handle to Jimstagram. So we're nearly there. Keep watching that. We also did a video newsletter this week for franchisees and franchisors,
which they quite liked.
Yeah. So that was great. So every month we're going to try and do a video version of that, which was really good. And a couple of things that have been going on during the week, which you might not know. So up in New South Wales, we were asked to do a video for the world record attempt for the most gyms in a gym, and you were asked to be the gym ambassador. This was for a radio station called Seacoast FM.
Do you know how many they did?
They got the world record. I think it was like 30 though. So it wasn't much of a world record,
30,
but
yeah.
I think it was 30-ish. But if you head to their page, you can see. And we've also tried to start the hashtag Gym for Jim. So you obviously know Jim's issues with the councils if you've been watching our social stuff. So we've had actually people messaging the council and sending a screenshot proof of that, just saying, where is Jim's gym? Hashtag Gym for a Gym. So keep harassing them. We want the Yarra Council to give that approval. And also give Jim's Cleaning a follow. So Jim's Cleaning has a massive following on Facebook and obviously Instagram as well. So get on board to them. Now, without me going on any further, we'll get into the show tonight. Now, there's a couple of things that we wrote down while having a chat prior. Do you want to maybe announce the first one?
Well, I can leave it to Ali. It's quite exciting, and Ali's been working on that for months.
Yeah, we've been working closely with census, and we're in the process of registering all 820 franchisees in Jim's Cleaning Group on 26 different platforms, including Facebook, Google My Business, and Hot Frog and True Local, just to name a few. But ideally, overall, there's over 20,000 listings that the franchisees will be, the profiles will be created over the next couple of weeks. We're all controlled by one dashboard. So the franchisors will have access to their region, so they can run promotions and local campaigns in the area, where franchisees will have access to their own particular pages as well in their locations.
And you're also saying it integrates with Google My Business and stuff like that as well.
Yeah, so we're really pushing the reviews as for the SEO side of the things, where franchisees, we can see with some of the franchisees, they have great reviews online, and we've seen a massive increase in leads in those areas due simply due to the reviews received on Google My Business.
That's great initiative.
It's great that you've got so much saturation with that. That's a really awesome model to follow.
Yeah,
so I think that's a first for something that type of size that I've seen.
Yes. According to Census, they haven't seen anything that big before as well on their end. So it's been quite a bit of a big project for us.
Why don't we share? Hold on, before you jump on board, we'll share the cost with you. The cost is
It's about $300,000
per annum.
Per annum. Wow.
But it's only I think it's $30 per franchisee per month. But if you times that over 820 franchisees times 12, it comes to about $350,000.
Well, if the results are there, if it provides work, then why not?
It's definitely going to provide a lot of
So
work.
who did this week? Census did this week.
We've been working together with Census, yes.
Yeah.
So they have a dashboard they have built for themselves, but they're launching that with other businesses as well. There's similar businesses to us that they already showcased, but nothing as big as what we're doing.
So we're actually giving franchisees what they want. Franchisees want their own Facebook page, and with their own number, and which we can't accommodate. But at least now we can actually let them have their own page, and we can monitor the feedback, the messages, and if a franchisee leaves, we can actually delete that page or change that page to a new buyer, all managed by one portal, which is
interesting to see. So this is just set up now?
Yes, it's
already happening.
Yeah, it's about 80% live right now.
Yeah. It'd be interesting to watch your leads coming in and see what they do compared with not only past but also with last year. Because that'll tell us pretty quickly. You guys could be the guinea pig and
we'll see how that goes.
We'll take it up.
That should be good. It's a great initiative.
It's one of the great things about having multiple divisions, that you have different divisions try different things.
Definitely.
So that dashboard, obviously, it's Facebook, Google My Business. What other Instagram?
There's 26 in total. There's a lot of there's like the Apple Maps and Google Maps and Bing Maps. There's a lot of map navigation systems as well that we obviously no addresses will be visible. It's just the territory and the 131546 phone number. The good thing is through the dashboard, the franchisors can actually do a post, and it goes on all 26 platforms for all their franchisees. So if they're running a campaign or if they're running a bit of a promotion, or they can just do it for one franchisee and just tick that one particular
How
franchisee.
can you get into Google My Business without an address? I thought they required a local address.
In the background, there is an address, but it's not visible to public.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm sure with Census's volume as well, they have all these. They probably
And they
more
have
direct contact.
obviously better contacts than what we do.
Yeah,
so,
exactly right. Yes.
With Facebook and Google, they've been very difficult from what I know, but obviously Census has a better relationship with those bigger companies.
It's a really great initiative. I'm looking forward to it because I know that's actually something on the advisory and the divisional that was mentioned about what are we doing regarding updating our manuals and contracts to reflect more modern things. Generally, it's based on the thing we use, probably Mike uses, handing out your business card outside your territory, right? Now that should be more about Instagram profiles and Facebook pages and all this sort of stuff. Yeah. So was that solely created based on the feedback from your franchisees?
That's pretty much all the feedback that we received, and for the last 5 years, we've been telling our franchisees to go out and build their Facebook pages with different business names or don't mention gyms, and what was happening is they were building a great business through that without the gyms brand, obviously, which had a bit of a negative effect on nutrition as well.
Yeah, so hopefully make it a little bit more sticky as well.
Yes,
it's a great initiative.
We think it's going to help with attrition.
Yep.
That's our biggest goal.
Yeah, because if they're uploading and they're really committed to their Facebook page and they put all this work into it, why would they want to?
That's right.
Obviously go.
Yeah, the ironic thing about gyms is that we're growing, but we're also building an enormous number of businesses that have ex-gyms and we put into business and they go up on themselves, which is part of the way we operate. We don't believe people should be forced to stay if they don't see the value of it. But the key is to give more value so they want to stay with us.
Yeah, it's a great topic and we're looking forward to that. I'm glad you guys are doing it because it gives us a great number of franchisees, such a volume as well.
Yeah. We've actually did a trial with carpet cleaning for the last for a 3-month period, and we've seen an increase. And we didn't just sign up all 800 franchisees all at the same time.
Yeah.
So we've actually started with carpet cleaning back in April and May.
What sort of increase have you seen?
It all depends on the franchisee. With franchisees, I'll use Ballarat as an example, where a franchisee was averaging about 20 to 30 leads a month. Actually doubled over the last couple of months. He's been averaging 50.
And is that because he's got good reviews?
He's got positive reviews. He's active. He's posting on Facebook. He's posting photos, before and after shots.
Yeah.
So we're seeing with franchisees who are getting involved, getting better results than the franchisees who don't really use it.
What a lot of people don't realise when they pay money, they expect lead gen straight away, but it's more than that. It's your resume, right?
That's right.
Testimonials, before and afters, and people look at your Instagram page, and I'll flip through to your Facebook page, and they're right. They can see you're active in it and responding to people. Definitely goes a long way.
And through the dashboard, we can actually see if they have responded or not. Well, the franchisor can.
Right.
So if they see that no one's responded, they can respond themselves on their behalf, or just flick them an SMS and say, "Don't forget to respond."
Are you looking
Because
at?
that's a big issue when they don't respond.
Yeah. Is there a room to maybe integrate like a chatbot within that messaging function?
The census is actually working on that as well. Awesome. So a bit of an automated system with private messaging as well.
That'd be great. That's a really good initiative, and congratulations on that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Hopefully it works out, then it's going to come back to me and say, let's do this across everyone else. So that should be good. I'm looking forward to it. So there's a lot of people tuning in now. There's been 70 people eyes watching right now, so welcome. And there's a few people from cleaning leaving some comments. So there's John Idema, who's a franchisee. Steve Walkham's a franchisor from Canberra. So thanks for tuning in. Liz is tuned in again. Jim's memeing. Dave Schultz, Alana Buchanan as well. She's got a question for Ali. She's gone, how's the floss practice going? Question mark. I'm sure you guys will know what it is.
I've been practicing. Unfortunately, I can't get it. Floss. And I can't demonstrate for you.
I can't demonstrate it.
I'll
only do it if Jim does it.
It's a particular dance.
Flossing.
Oh, wow.
You move your arm.
Do you want to demonstrate?
No, unfortunately.
And Sue's tuned in again, and Mo, and they've leaving comments. So leave comments on the feed, guys. We love the interaction. There's a few other people tuning on the other things as well. Good question, which is directly related to what we were just talking about then before we get into the audience questions was, will there be a lead fee if it comes through Facebook Messenger?
Will be entered as a pickup.
Entered as a pickup.
Yeah.
So it's a great question, Kane. So entered as a pickup. So there you go. It's a great initiative. And Shane Charmstrom's gone here as well as a franchise. All the Jim's cleaning products are great quality and great value products. Add on your sales to your clients to create extra income. Keep it moving.
Thanks, Shane.
And there's a great one there. So let's jump into it. So where is it Eleanor regarding the research PTS? Ezra, sorry. So maybe say where you're from, Ezra. What division?
Ezra from Jim's Mowing.
Jim's Mowing, yeah. Jim's Mowing. Yeah.
I just wanted to know, do you think that your research will assist people with PTSD at all?
Possibly anything at all. The research is looking at basic changes to character, and yes, absolutely. One of the elements of it is it should actually make people more buoyant, more resilient. We've got a great research project going. Actually, I didn't realise I went up to ISN, my institute, on Monday. And a lady there, Antonina, is doing a fantastic job. I'm actually planning a very big series of experiments for early next year, investigating some of the pheromones and the effects they might have. So I'm very positive, very hopeful that we'll get some very good results, hopefully within the next 12 months.
Thanks for that question, Ez. That's a great one. So we'll get to another question here. Where's Kevin?
Kevin from the Dog Wash division. My question is directed to Jim, but Haydar and Ali are free to answer the question as well. So it's, what is your favorite book? Or to rephrase the question, what is the book that you've read that changed your life?
Very good question.
I love the Foundation series by Isaac Asimov, pretty obviously, which is wonderful. It's about how the scientists in the days of the declining galactic empires figures out a mathematical model for history to work out what's going to happen in the future, and then he works out how to change it. I think he was wrong about mathematics. I think it's more to do with biology, but Foundation is fantastic.
What about you guys, Haydar and Ali? Anything you read, or just an audio books or something? Or
I'll say Rich Dad and Poor Dad. Robert?
That was a good book. I forget the name of the book that inspired me, but it had to do with don't do things that don't matter. And I forget the author or anything, but it was all about things that don't need worrying about. Don't worry about them. Has anyone read a book like that? I might post it next week. It was an awesome book. Don't do things that don't matter. Only do things that does matter, or is going to make a difference.
my favourite book's this book. Not just because Jim's sitting there. My favourite book at the moment is Crushing It by Gary Vee,
Oh yeah, that's great.
which Jim is listening to, and it's really good. But
I
it's
finished listening to it actually. It's absolutely brilliant. Talking about how you build a personal brand through social media and the different kinds of ways it's done, and examples of people who've done it. It's an amazing book. It's on audio book too, so no excuse not to read books if you can listen to them, because time is otherwise dead. You know, it doesn't matter what you're doing, whether you're driving the car or anything at all. You can listen to audio books. They're fantastic, and Crushing It is absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, Crushing It's a great one. We had a question from Jared Bywaters on what's my thoughts on people like Kerr and Way and Gary Vee. And as I said, I think they're really good. The difference with Gary Vee is that he had a $200 million or $100 million wine business before he sort of moved into all this sort of stuff. So he actually was a businessman. A lot of people who are in those fields, their full-time thing is just being motivational entrepreneurs, but that's their business. They haven't had really a business prior to that. So Gary Vee's a little bit different. Don't do much about Kerr and Ray. But Gary Vee, I'm glad Jim's listening to Gary Vee because he comes in with lists of things. I've heard this on the thing and I've got to do this. So it's been my...
Yeah, I know. I came into the office and spoke to... and grabbed this guy and said, we're going to do this and this and this. You see, you've been listening to Gary Vee, have you?
Yeah, exactly right. I did. It's my own worst enemy. I'm paying the price for that one. But it's great that Jim's listening to it and obviously doing things like this.
You recommend it.
I do. But that's why we do things like this. So it's great to do more stuff like this with the personal branding stuff for Jim. And obviously for Ali and Haydar. So where's Mike D? I'm actually going to ask Mike. Get off your phone there, mate. And this is your question here. Because I thought this is quite an interesting one.
Which one is it?
There was two. There was the Ali one.
Oh, you want the Ali one?
Yeah.
So Ali, what's the worst trait about Haydar?
Hey, listen, we've only got an hour here, you know.
That's a hard one. I'll say he's got a very good memory.
Is that a bad trait?
Yeah, he'll remember things from 6 years ago. So remember you did that, or yeah, he's got an unreal memory.
Thank you. I remember that.
Well, you Haydar, likewise. We'll throw it back to you then.
Bad trait about Ali. I don't think you have a bad trait, mate. You are absolutely awesome. And I might take this opportunity to say thank you very much for all the things that you do for me. You've changed my life, mate. You're a champion.
Thank you.
Allowing Haydar to go to Cyprus and send us photos and then I'll rub it in like today.
He's got a beautiful place too. He showed me pictures today.
It's really nice.
It's
I don't know how
magnificent sort of mansion on the beach, and just look at just a short walk to this sea. And
I love how you said it was a small place today, and I saw the photos today. And I was like,
small by his standards of his house in Melbourne, I imagine, but that just means, you know, it's like the. Yeah.
It's quite good.
It's very fancy. No wonder he likes going there. But he missed the Melbourne winter, you know.
Yeah, yes.
He really did. The ice and
They got all
snow.
5 degrees. Yeah, beautiful.
so thanks for that question, Mike. That was a good
Thanks,
one.
Mike.
Thanks, Mike.
So where's Chris? Where's Chris here? Chris had a good question. We haven't had this one before. This can be for everyone.
Hi, Chris from Mowing Division. Jim, you've obviously got a few kids. Where do you see your kids in 10 years' time? Married, in the business?
Well, I'd have to get married. I mean, I want to be a grandfather. I've got 10 kids and not a single grandchild. I'm 67. You'd think my children aren't as good at breeding as I am.
They're only young.
No, the oldest is about 34 now, so it's
okay.
not that young. I've got about 3 in their 30s. You'd think there'd be a few offspring coming along. I'd like to think I'd get a kid into the business, but I can't see it actually. My children seem to follow other avenues. I've got a few, so you never know what might happen. I've got one son interested in my research project, which is really great. That's probably the most important thing, because if I'm not around, then he knows what we're trying to achieve, and he can make sure it happens. So all my family trust is set up to give most of the money from Jim's to the research.
What about you guys, Haydar and Al? I know your business is very family orientated.
Yes.
A lot of people say you should mix family and business, but you are the complete opposite.
Well, it's definitely worked for me. Ali, I'm not sure if everyone's aware, Ali is my brother-in-law, my wife's brother.
And his sister is a good lot better looking than he is.
Thanks. Yeah, she's all right. So my wife actually, my wife does a little bit around the office as well, which is great. And my 2 boys are actually working with us now, Mustafa and Jamal. And I've got big plans for them. I hope one day they do step up and take some leadership roles in our business. At the moment, they're just helping around the office.
How old are they?
Mustafa is 25 and Jamal is 21.
And you got no grandchildren either yet?
No, not yet. But Mustafa just proposed to his wife in Turkey last week, which is exciting. Yeah. So there's going to be a marriage happening soon. And I've got 2 daughters, 19-year-old Layla. She loves what she does, so I don't think she'll be involved in our business. And then I've got little Asya, who's only 9. You know, she might be the one.
Right, what about you, Ali?
I've got 2 boys. I've got a 10-year-old, Ope, and a 6-year-old Meta, so they're still young for the business, but they do help to wash the car on the weekend. So.
No, it's I've been out to their offices and they've got a great crew there, and it's great to see that the family's involved in business, and there's no, like from what I can obviously, there's no issues, which is great. So
far so good.
That's really awesome.
Yeah.
So there's a few people tuning in, so thanks for watching, and leave a question or comment. We're up to around 95 now, which is great. There's a few people there. We're not ignoring you. It's just that it's so hard to get to so many comments and questions, but we appreciate you leaving them there. Kylie Caruso says, hi here, Nigel here, car detailing franchise on South Australia. Good to see a couple of good roosters on the panel. Also hi to Ali and Haydar.
Thanks, Andrew.
Following on from the comment before. There's a question here real quickly for you guys. This can be one from Eric Jurgens, who does Jim's Mobile Cafe. He's been doing coffee here all week. Jim, have you got a favourite highlight from the trade day and from the conferences that happened last week? I'm going to have one for Haydar and Ali as well.
Well, which is good actually. I loved seeing the battery-powered mowers. That was interesting to me. The
Ego
one especially, yeah. I reckon it's fantastic technology. I mow my own lawns at my farm with a battery-powered mower. It's an AEG one, and I love it. It's just quiet and it's easy to control, and I think it's the future. Actually, they're looking at a system whereby you can actually build it into the trailer. I talked with Lee about that because she makes the trailers. And you put a solar panel on top of the trailer, and it charges the batteries of your mowers as you're driving around. So you can sort of use the battery, stick it up there, have it charged, and then bring it back down later too. That's a fantastic idea.
What about you guys? What was your favourite time of last week's activities?
I've missed the trade day because I was too busy preparing for
you had
our
your
AGM,
massive
but
conference.
the gala night was actually pretty good. Rachel, I think, was the highlight of the night, but
I'd be the same. The gala night was the best. The socialising, the dance lessons. It was fun.
It's definitely very important. I know that the national staff, on behalf of the national staff, we really do enjoy it. It's important to meet people you talk to emails for 3 years and 5 years and not actually meet. So it's good to just from that point of view. Okay, so we'll get to a few questions here. A nice comment here from one of the users on another feed. It's gone, Tammy Ataski's gone, I get my office cleaned by Jim's Cleaning Group and I'm very happy. Well done, boys. Keep it up, which is great. So if you are commenting on the other pages, we're not ignoring you, so you can't see you. Put them into the Jim's Group live feed. And because this is an audience one tonight, we're trying to get to as much questions as we can in person. We'll chuck through a few on the live feed. So where is Peter? This is a question for Ali and Haydar. And this is the one I warned you about. I didn't tell you this one prior, but this is the one that I said might be a bit sticky.
Yeah, directed Peter Lawson from Jim's Bookkeeping, National Office. Haydar, I have a question for you. There's been a lot of activity from the Australian Taxation Office lately. We're getting a lot of intelligence from them, and they're going out on a number of audit campaigns at the present time. They've specifically said that they are targeting the cleaning industry. What measures are you taking right now to offset anything that might come your way in the way of an audit?
Well, we're not doing anything right now, but we do that on a progressive basis in initial training or ongoing training. We talk about all the issues that may arise if there ever was an audit. So we teach and train to do everything correctly from day one. And obviously we can't monitor everybody. But if you do have some intelligence, we would like to hear what that is. And
we'd love to share it with you.
What
we're getting in feedback.
I don't think there is any major issues within our division, from my knowledge anyway.
The thing that we're getting from the ATO, Australian Taxation Office at the present time, it's all about record keeping. Yes. And once you've got that cleaned up, you're going to be okay with an audit. So. And I know you're quite aggressive with helping your cleaners with all your franchisees with anything in those issues. Just wondering, what particular things you're doing to address.
It's just always ongoing. It's in newsletters, team meetings. Initial training is where we really drill it down to do it properly. And we're quite lucky. We do have a bit of the formatised program that helps manage our franchisees' day-to-day management, invoicing. I mean, that really keeps them in control of many things. But happy to hear anything that you may have.
We try and help our franchisees to understand that it's not smart to evade tax.
Yes.
There's so many legal, quite above board ways to minimise tax when you're self-employed, including your use of your vehicle, part of your rental or your mortgage, electricity, home computers, splitting your income with your partner if they're making less money. There's all kinds of ways of doing it legally without cheating. I don't like it very much. Sometimes you get complaints from clients. You know, somebody says, "Hey, you do it cash. It's a discount." They get upset about that. So do I. I don't like it.
Yeah, true. Very good question.
If you are a franchisee or franchisor or need advice, bookkeeping, get onto him. Okay, where is Rachel? Rachel had a question regarding exits. Was that the exit one? No. It's another Rachel behind you. There's two Rachels in there. So it's different Rachel.
Hi, this question's for Jim. Jim, do you have an exit strategy for yourself?
Yes, it's called a funeral.
I was hoping that wasn't the answer.
Okay. I don't intend to retire. I'll probably with time I'll work less. But frankly, I'm 67 now. I do not feel any different to 30 years ago. I really don't. I feel full of energy. It's so fun. Jim's is so fun right now. It's just fantastic business. There's so much going on. All this new software we're developing, all the new social media stuff we're doing. It's the greatest buzz around. And there's people who are 20 years older than me, like Rupert Murdoch, who are still active. Why shouldn't I be? It's just enjoyable. Why would I want to retire?
True.
It's a great life. I love being in business. I enjoy it so much. I find it hard. What I find really hard is when it's like over Christmas and New Year, where the office closes down for a week. I get a bit stir crazy. I don't know what to do with myself. There's only so many computer games you can play, and I just love it. And actually, I'm in very good health. Based on I don't smoke or anything like that. Good weight, everything. Exercise a lot. Very happy, churchgoer, all the rest of it. I expect to live at least another 20 years. And if there ever gets to be the stage of rejuvenation, which I'm watching that very carefully in the pages of New Scientist and anywhere else, I'll be first in the queue. with my wife, of course.
What about you, Haydar and Ali? When's a full-time Cyprus?
I don't know. It's hard to answer. I'm still very young. I'm only early 50s, so I haven't really thought about that. I've got many, many years ahead of me. Who knows?
Let's maybe talk about your plans then, obviously. So what's your next 10-year maybe plan for Jim? Where would you ultimately see you, maybe say 5 to 10 years? Looking forward.
Let our CEO answer.
Well, growth is something that we've been working on, and obviously we've launched in New Zealand a couple of years ago, and now we have about 30 successful cleaning group franchisees. We're just in the process of launching carpet cleaning and window cleaning in New Zealand as well.
Awesome.
But UK is something, UK and Canada is something that we've been got our eyes on over the next 5 years.
How much room do you think you can grow within Australia still? Obviously it's hard to put a number on it, but what's your sort of something you're aiming for maybe?
We don't really have a maximum number, but our first goal is to reach 1,000 franchisees, which we estimate to reach over the next 12 months.
It's great.
12 months? I thought it was going to be this year.
It will be sometime next year, I believe.
Which will be a great effort.
We got our foot on the accelerator. We just keep going. I don't think we'd ever
The market's not the problem anyway.
No.
Even Mowing is by far the biggest division, but it could be 3 times the size. There's enough work out there. The issue we've got is how to attract and keep franchisees. That's all it is.
Yeah, our biggest problem is attrition.
25% unserviced leads. It's getting worse. In fact, the market's growing so much faster than we can. And we're still growing, but we're just not growing fast enough. That's a big step. How do we make the business so attractive? People are going to want to stay with us forever.
Yeah.
And everybody want to come in.
But you guys obviously start working on attrition now. I know you do that follow-up and all that sort of stuff, but you're probably the first division to really look at that and put stuff in place.
Well,
Maybe you want to talk
Ali
about
did a
that.
great thing. He rang up everybody from the cleaning group that had left in the last 12 months. So what do you have? 4 came back?
Yeah, we had 4 successfully came back, and there's possibly another 4 or 5 that we're currently speaking to that's thinking of coming back or making some come back later this year.
And sometimes it's people who go independent because they think the grass is greener, but when you ring them, they say, "Jeepers, it's hard without the
It
Jim's
is,
brand."
exactly.
In fact, we've got someone in the room who actually left and came back. Rachel Mounter and her husband were one of those. They managed the region for us. Where was that? Initially, Northern New South Wales.
Had a gap year, came back.
Yeah.
Yeah, wonderful. The prodigal daughter.
Well, it's a great exercise, and I wish we could replicate it. Hopefully, more divisionals and regions, if you're watching, to replicate it across the group. Because again, that type of success, if we can do that consistently across everyone. So there's another question here from where's Joel? It's a great name. Where is he? Joel up there. Maybe say which division you're from, Joel.
Yeah, I'm from Mowing.
Mowing, yep.
This one's for Jim. Do you have any regrets, Jim?
Plenty. There's so many things I do differently. I mean, I would never regret anything that happened before the birth of my children, because if it changes that, anything, even disastrous marriages, I wouldn't have the kids I had. But in terms of business, we launched a trade exchange a few years back. That was a disaster, cost me a fortune. A factory that we launched, which is working okay now. My wife's taken over that, lost us a fortune. There's all kinds of things that I've done that I wouldn't do now. You always make it. The thing about me is I'm always trying new stuff, and not everything I try works out very well. So there's a lot of things I would do differently. But basically, in the core things of life, in being into gyms and my family and my kids and stuff, I have no regrets.
What about you guys, Ali and Haydar? Put that one to you.
I feel the same. There's a lot of mistakes that you do during the business as well, but you got to learn from it, I guess. But don't want to go back and change anything. It's more about learning from it and moving on.
Yeah.
I often fantasize if I could go back like 40 years and like in a time machine and come and listen to my training course and all the things we've learned over the past decades. I mean, it'd take us half the time to get back there because there's so much of it's just making mistakes and learning how to do things better.
Got a question for Haydar, which is thanks for that question, Joel. Just from the live feed, so I'll ask you real quickly, Haydar. The question that's come through is from Sean Heath, who's a regional franchisor. He says, "What is the best advice you have ever been given?"
Wow.
By Jim's franchise, I reckon.
Wow. Best advice. I don't know. I'm not sure. You stumped me, Sean. Just keep punching is something I heard once, and that just keeps rolling in my head, and that's probably my catchphrase. That's what I'm known for. Just keep punching, because it's not always going to work out immediately, but sooner or later what you're trying will work out. Don't give up. Keep punching.
What about you, Alan?
That's kind of advice.
That's a good one.
Very good question, Sean. I would say it's something that Haydar said, and I think we've discussed this in the video as well, that when I originally joined back in 2007, it was just, I purchased the region in carpet cleaning and we went through global financial crisis. And it was impossible to get finance for franchisees. We had unhappy franchisees, and it was hard to get work, and we know all the reasons due to the GFC, but something that Haydar said, he said, "What have you done about it? You know, what are you doing? What are you working on?" And he asked that question several times, and he just pretty much took ownership and did 2 things which worked out quite well for the region, and we created more work, we created more happier franchisees, which got us a lot of referrals and sales.
Yeah, that's a great. Actually, we do touch that in your interview, which is on YouTube and the podcast, and it's a really good thing what you said about your mindset, that you shifted from maybe blaming external things. Exactly. And you said, "What can I control?" And that's what Haydar told you to do.
You're welcome.
What about you? Should get that keep punching. I always see your comment. That should get as a t-shirt. Get that going. What about you, Jim? What's the best bit of advice you've been given?
It's very much the same thing, actually, but put one foot in front of another. In other words, whatever your situation, don't get too stressed about what's happened or the long term or the overall situation. What do I need to do right now? And then you do that, and then you do the next thing, you do the next thing, and the next thing. And in the end, if you just focus on what you need to do, things will come out right. People fail because they get discouraged.
Yeah.
More than anything else, they let things overwhelm them. You've just got to keep on driving, which is the same thing, really, and keep on punching.
Yeah.
But I put it in mowing terms. In mowing lawns.
Keep mowing.
Yeah, keep on moving.
Keep on mowing. Keep whippersnippering, keep pruning, whatever. All right, we'll keep going here. So thanks for that question via Sean as well. I'll just get through a few comments here on the live feed. Good to make them feel welcome. And thank you for leading. I'm not ignoring them. There's just so much that's coming through. Every time Ali and Haydar were on last time, we've had our record numbers and it keeps going up, which I know is thanks to our promoter, which is your father. She does a great job. So thank you to Ismet doing that. So Darren Fidge has gone here. I've been here all week. We've been fed and watered so well. Your staff are amazing, especially Tina. I hope they are well paid. Never had such great service. Great to hear. Christina Franklin's gone here. Hi guys, Jim, you are situated in such a beautiful part of the country. What made you decide on the location?
Basically it's the council, which is ironic since how much I hate them. We asked their advice about a particular site, and these council officers said, hey, there's a vacant Swinburne campus just up in Mooroolbark. So we had a look at it and it looked pretty good. Had a whole lot of buildings, including our lecture theatres and stuff, and it just seemed perfect, so we bought it. But I do like space around me. I like that. I live next door to the office with 5 acres, which is fantastic. I have this little trek through the bush to get to work.
You've got the shortest commute in the world.
The shortest commute is fantastic, and I just love it. But even then, I love space. So when I can, I go up to my farm, which is right up in the bush, and I've got 100 acres, and it's just nobody around. I love that.
I know you talk about your headquarters a bit. You've got a headquarters out in Broadmeadows, which I've been there, which is a lovely facility. You can make a great coffee, Haydar, as well.
Thank you.
Which is good.
Yeah, that was when we first moved into there. We had a lot of space too. In fact, I can tell you a little funny story. When we first moved in, we had our offices in one corner of it, and the back section of it, I wanted to rent out to a dance studio. I thought it was that big, but obviously it wasn't. But then, 9 years later, we've outgrown that building as well. So we're actually looking at, maybe moving or extending somehow.
I know you're doing a little plan with your centres as well. You know how you're building the uniforms and stuff like
that?
Yeah.
The uniform department's expanding all the time, so we're running out of space for that as well. We just need more space. Maybe we'll move in here somewhere.
I'm sure we're starting to run out of space in this place with the sales team growing so fast. This is a beautiful environment. I mean, anybody who's here can say it's great, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's just a lovely sort of bush block, and you can take wonderful little walks in its rustic surroundings and stuff, and you hear the birds singing, and it's good. I'll
get back to the questions in 1 second. There's a follow-up question which is related to this. Nathan Buchanan's gone, have you thought of having home bases in other states that can handle branding within the state? So we've tried this before. In New Zealand, for example, we had a whole head office there.
Hasn't worked very well, actually. The Mooroolbark office is great because when people come for training, they really get the full experience. They're with anything up to 100 other people, and just that sense of excitement and a sense of community, and we'll catch a vision. And we try and get our franchisors to come back here as much as possible, and be part of us, and get to know each other and build that, like the fellowship, the community, the friendship. A lot of it's interesting today in the training, how many people said about being a family. It's that sense that we have at gyms, which we try and encourage. So this place is great as a way of bringing that together. And also, I really like to be able to meet my franchisees, as many as possible during the training. I always have meals, and I try and meet just about everybody if I can, and have a little bit of conversation with them. And so if we were spread all over the place, it'd be harder to do that.
So thanks for that. Darren Fidger's gone here. The culture here is unbelievable. So Darren's obviously left that on there in here, which is great. So we'll get back to these questions here. So where is John regarding the services? John. Which division are you from, mate?
Just started with cleaning, so car detailing.
Awesome.
Looking forward to it.
Great.
Question, I guess, to the panel. How do you deal with the perception? And it's really interesting. I think you've answered some of the questions. You'll probably go back to some of the things you've already said. And with Rachel going away and coming back, how do you deal with the perception that gyms is expensive to get into as opposed to setting up for yourself, ongoing fees and these lead fees? It seems to be a recurring theme that people are concerned about. I'm not concerned, but it's how do you guys deal with that on a regular basis?
Very good question.
See, one of the interesting things about it is it seems expensive, but if you take 3 months to build a business and you fail, which is what normally happens, according to the International Cleaning and Janitorial Association, their website, 95% of cleaning businesses fail in their first year. With us, the figure is more like about 11%. And of those that fail, in our terms, a lot of them go independent. So, you know, when a person goes into business for themselves, the cost is their time. They're not earning money.
Yeah.
And it's monstrous. Whereas the gym's franchise, you know, it pays for itself typically in about 3 months. That's including the fee. So it's actually an incredibly good deal. I don't know, people sometimes they think they can do it cheaper, but it doesn't work very well. And we just got to show people that. But we are looking, because there's so much work around lately, we are actually dropping our fees and our ingoing price on many franchises and working out ways of, you know, vendoring people in and so forth. Because the volume of work is just so incredible that there's not much cost in getting somebody into the business. Much like years ago, we used to have people knocking on doors to pick up mowing jobs. We haven't done that for ages because we haven't needed to. And I think that's because our reputation is so much greater than it was, you know, 20 years ago.
What about you guys?
Well, on the same token, you know, look at the purchase price as an investment. You know, you buy your business, and hopefully if you do all the right things and build it up and have really good turnover, hopefully you can sell it for more than what you paid for it. Or if not, you can split off some of it and recoup some of your initial investment. In fact, you can split it multiple times.
Yeah. Well, actually, if you do a business split about every 3 years,
Yes.
you'll never pay any fees effectively because it covers the fees. And there's people who split every year. One guy I know split 3 times in his first year. So it's really an incredible deal. I think it's just a matter of showing people that. But one of the ways we sell franchises, and we've always done this, is to give people a list of our current franchisees and say, go and bring as many as possible. And we urge them to do that because we know if they do that, and if they ask people, why'd you go into gyms? They'll say, you'd have to be crazy not to, because it's such a great deal. And it genuinely is a good deal.
I think communicating it, we're trying to do a little bit more this year, obviously, with the social stuff, which is this. Like, that's a great question. We didn't plan it, but you know, this clip we can use to push online as well. And there's a lot of perceptions around franchising, unfortunately, because it's a very clickbaity title type of thing at the moment. News.com.au loves it. Anytime there's a franchising story, they push it. So anything which we can do on a live platform and be authentic in terms of content and just put that out there, we hope that people can make their own determination.
The quickest split done within the cleaning group was within 3 months. So I want to challenge you if you can beat that. But you can. Like, having the experience that I have now, I think I can do that in a couple of weeks or maybe a month.
So there you go, there's your challenge. It's on record as well, it's on video. So I've got a question here that's come through. I'll get back to these in a minute from Sel Usenbay, who's a franchisor, I believe, in the cleaning group, which is, hi Haydar, what do you imagine as your fulfilled legacy for the cleaning group?
Fulfilled legacy. Definitely minimum of 1,000 franchisees. So that might be as early as this year or early next year. After that one, I do want a purpose-built office or building for us. Something unique, something different. So when you drive past this building, it's like, wow, what is that? And it's kind of inspired by the late Crazy John from John Ilhan, Crazy John's. He was going to build a high-rise building in the city in the shape of a mobile phone. And that was going to be his legacy, but unfortunately he couldn't achieve that. So if I can, I don't know, building maybe in the shape of a toilet or something. Or I don't know.
Maybe one of these or something like that. You can do something like that.
Maybe a broom or a vacuum cleaner or a duster. That's the kind of legacy I want to leave behind. I know it sounds corny to Jim, he's not into this type of thing. But that's...
I can tell you one of my aims is no matter how fast cleaning goes, that they never catch up with mowing. Which means we're going to, actually we did well this week. We got a lot more mowing than cleaning in this week. So that's good, guys. Thank you for all the mowing guys.
That is true.
I am never going to let this guy catch me. That's my aim.
That is true.
I know Jim really fanatically looks at the list of who's coming to training. And
I know. I always look at it. It was one time when actually he got beaten not only by mowing but by dog wash. And I sent him an email saying, how does it feel like to be number 3?
Wasn't a good feeling, that's for sure.
It was for me.
So we're
no, actually, because I want cleaning to go as much as possible. I just want mowing to grow even faster, that's all.
I think cleaning should have more than mowing, to be honest.
Hey, get out of it. Wash your mouth out with soap, thank you very much.
So where is Clint? We're going to a question from the audience. Clint, this is a great question.
This is for Jim. I'm Clint from Mowing. How has your research and your studies influenced, helped or hindered the running and development of the overall Jim's group?
It probably hasn't much effect at all, except it's given it the moral force to drive it. Whenever in the early days, ever thought that this is too hard, I might give up, I couldn't because I had this overwhelming drive to build a business that would fund my research. That was always, even when I was an impoverished, deeply indebted mine contractor, somehow I had to be able to fund my research. So in that sense, it's had a big impact. It's the only thing I got in common is that my research actually, my academic career failed because I was far too radical and unorthodox. And I think my business has succeeded partly for the same reason. It's very radical and unorthodox. There's so many things about gyms that's very strange, like being able to vote out franchisors, being able to veto changes to your own manual, being able to move to a different franchisor, being able to walk away relatively simply, even though franchisors don't always like me talking about that. But we hold people because they want to be with us, not because they're bound by contract, which they're very unusual ideas. And I think that's a large part of our success. We're not afraid to be different.
It's a great question. I'll get on to one here from Mike D because it was related to what Haydar was saying before. We've had a few suggestions. Eric Jurgen's gone, wanted a big building in the shape of Jim.
Oh, wow.
That'd probably stand out.
Goodness, what
Haydar, Haydar, I understand you're a pretty handy builder. So you've got a fair bit of maintenance you've done.
Yes.
What's been your biggest project or your best project you've ever done?
I think it was my private home. That was a huge job or project. I think it was a 5-year build. 3 or 4 builders.
This is a third of an acre, this building. I've never even seen it, but it's gigantic. It's well known.
Yeah, it's pretty big. And that was a 5-year build, and that was very challenging. Even financially, I even struggled. But we got there at the end. But then again, our office is a pretty good work environment as well. Most of the work I did there myself as well.
You did do a lot of the renovation. You remember when out there you showed me you've done this and you explained all you did. That was pretty good.
And it's actually modelled towards my personal home as well. So when I'm at work, I actually feel like I'm at home, and vice versa.
Thanks for that question, Mike. That's a great one. Got a question here for Ali from John. Where is John?
Ali, moving forward, there's a lot of pressure with being environmentally friendly and making sure we're moving in the right direction. How are we going? How's Jim's going? What are we doing?
Yep, very good question. Thanks, John. With the car detailing side of things, a few years ago, we've actually got an external company to do an audit on our franchisees and to see how many litres of water we're using per car. And to get a 5-star rating, we had to use under 45 litres per vehicle. We came out at 15 litres. So the method and the system that we're using is we do save a lot of water. With Jim's Cleaning, we've got these products, and I know Jim doesn't really like it when we push these products on here, but they are all, they're not actually chemicals, they're enzyme based. So they're soap-free and they're safe on the environment as well. So we are always looking at ways of, currently we're trialling an oven cleaner for the cleaning division, which is, your normal standard oven cleaners are very, very toxic. Again, we have a similar product that we're doing tests at the moment.
No, that's all been approved now.
Has it been approved?
Yeah, it's all ready to go.
Yep.
How many years did it take you to do?
It's minimum of 5, and we're still going. And this is our bit back to the environment or back to the world. I know it's only a small thing, but it makes me feel good that I'm doing something good for the environment.
And there's a video about actually you run through all the products on YouTube. So head to YouTube and it's all there.
And just one more thing on that as well. We're actually working on going totally paperless.
Yes.
For our franchisees as well as for our office as well, and we've got a bit of a deadline by 2020. We want all our franchisees to be paperless, so no invoice books, no flyers, it's all digital. So it's something that we've been working on in the background. We're still early days, but
so it'll be like you text message someone a quote and say, click here to find your quote, and I'll click that, or emails
right.
and stuff like that.
It'll be all digital.
Hopefully Jimbo can help us with that. No need for invoice books anymore. There's just no need for paper, really, except books. But then again, they can
audio as well.
Audio books.
Audio books are great.
Yeah, there's no need for paper anymore.
That's really good, and good luck with that. That's awesome to hear. Thanks for that question too. That was really good. So Shahim's just gone in with this is a great one. He's gone, hi everyone, it's Sam from Jim's Car Detailing, Hobart, Tasmania. I joined Jim's Group 10 months ago. I would like to use this opportunity to say thank you, Ali, for all the support and help. So thanks for letting us know. In your first year of business, that's really great to hear. So here's a question for Haydar, a bit of a cheeky one, I guess, from Rachel. Rachel from Dogwash. We'll liven it up a bit.
Well, Alana actually took my question earlier. Okay. How's the flossing going?
So this is the second one. This is the other one.
But this is now for both of you guys, because at dinner time we learn a little bit. How's the diet going?
Oh.
Haydar and Ali now.
Okay.
We've got new information.
New information?
Well, I've started 3 days ago, so it's going okay. So no carbs or sugar or soft drinks.
Are you doing like a keto diet or something?
Yeah, keto diet.
Oh, good luck with that.
Thanks, Rachel.
Struggling with the bread side of the things, but it's going well.
Yeah, I'm also on a diet. This is probably my 100th attempt. But I'd like to compliment a young gentleman by the name of Matt Kavanagh. I'll take this opportunity. He's been very helpful in guiding me and pushing me in the right direction. And I think he is going to make me achieve the weight loss that I've been trying to do for the last 100 years.
So Matt's a cleaning franchisor?
Cleaning and mowing franchisor and a franchisee. He's just one special man. And, he's texting me all the time with staff and what to eat, what not to eat. But it's very, very, very hard.
We'll have to do a before and after shot on the page when you...
I thought about doing that. Holding myself accountable.
That would hold you accountable, yeah.
Do you want me to?
Yeah, do it. Yeah, let's have a newspaper or something. Yeah.
We have. All right. I'm going to do that. I'm going to take a before shot and give you the...
Jim's challenge.
The 100+ kilo that I am. And set myself some goals and just prove to the world that I can do this.
Awesome. That'd be great. We'll put it on social media, your progress.
Oh, wow.
Get you in a bathing suit and then we'll
sure.
In the Borat one, yeah.
Actually, if and when the council gives us permission, probably about in the year 3000, we're going to have a racquetball court here and you're going to have to play.
Deal. I noticed there was a delivery of building material this morning.
There was a heap of it, yeah. I thought I was actually thinking I'd done that video overnight. Maybe they've responded.
We can't really get the planning permit much as anything else. Okay. I think it's only been 3 years, so.
Well, you, Jim, obviously you're pretty ripped. You do it for a 5K run. You can eat whatever you want, I guess.
Not really. I eat too much sometimes, but especially in training weeks. It's a bit hard. There's such a lot of great food in this place, and I tend to eat too much. But I do run and exercise and do what I can. I love to be healthy. I think being fit is one of the greatest things you can do. It's great for your mood, for your energy.
True.
It's magnificent. I'm a great believer in that.
Nutella for Jim is his vice.
Really
so if you want something from Jim, give him a bit of jar of Nutella and ask for whatever you want. There's an inside tip.
That's my crack cocaine. That's.
Won't go into that.
No.
All right.
No, Eric gave me. He got a jar of Nutella. I said, "You got to be joking, Eric. Take it back. This is the guy. This is Jim's Mobile Cafe."
That's true.
He's been doing really nice chocolates and coffees for people during this last week of training.
So Jem Karan's put through a question, I presume from Cleaning Group. Jem Karan. I've also got a question for Jim.
That's my son.
It's your son?
Yes.
Okay, so how do you feel about letting Haydar and Choice Brand Promotions take over the uniforms for the Jim's Group?
That's great. That's great. Haydar's very capable. Haydar runs our contracts department too, because we were doing it and we didn't do it very well, and Haydar just offered to take it over, and he does a better job. So,
and on that note, I think we've this year alone,
I think it's just over $4 million.
$4 million worth of work for our franchisees this year.
Which is
Awesome.
very considerable. They've done a great job. Yeah.
Thank you.
Look,
And Jamal's in that department actually, so thanks, Jamal. Good question, mate.
I think one of the things in business to recognise is that you're not necessarily good at everything. I have my strengths. I've got a very innovative, creative kind of mind. But in terms of running things, in a lot of ways, I mean, I run the mowing division, and I don't know nearly as good a job as these guys do at running cleaning, which is obvious because they're growing faster than we are. So sometimes, you know, you don't have to be good at everything. Yeah. In fact, I reckon often the most successful people aren't the people who are best at things. They're the people who actually recognise they're not so good and they find somebody else who can do it better.
If you are someone who needs a total service solution for all of Australia or for a big part of the state, from a commercial place or anything, definitely hit us up, because Jim's obviously has 50 plus services which you guys can arrange and you already do it.
One number, any service, anywhere in Australia with one contact.
And they look after the franchisees well too. You know, even advancing money. I think sometimes when you don't get the money from the supplier, you still pay them to make sure they're paid off, because most franchisees can't have heavy debts for a long period of time. So they do a great job. I get no complaints. And the thing about gyms is, if anybody does anything bad, I get to hear about it, because somebody will contact me and send me an email, they call me. So there's a problem with insurance, for example. I get a phone call and I'll walk down to insurance with my phone in my hand and say, okay, Yadrin, what's going on? So if there were any problems with contracts, I'd know about it, and I'd be ringing up these guys and saying, okay, what are you doing about it? But I don't have any issues at all.
Lovely, thank you.
So where's Rod? Rod left a question here for Jim.
Yeah, evening, gents. So Rod from Mowing Division. My question was originally for Jim, but I'd like to extend it to our friends from the Cleaning Division now. But, Jim, line trimmer or edger, mate? What's your preference?
Line trimmer. Line trimmer is great. If you've got the control, the line trimmer is fantastic. I love that. It's a great device. When you know how to use it, you can do a job better than any householder. It's been a great asset for our business. I can make a lawn look perfect in the way that most householders can't even imagine. Fantastic.
Well, you guys.
What's a light trimmer?
What would you ask a cleaner? He doesn't know anything.
What is it? A whippersnipper?
Yeah.
or haircuts. No, seriously, is it the whippersnipper with the cable? Okay.
Yeah, I talk about that in training actually, don't I? About my getting one of those back in the 70s.
Shindawa one. Yeah, we've got a clip on it.
Shikatani.
Oh, Shikatani.
Shikatani in those. They're not even around anymore. Yeah. It's a great gadget. Wonderful.
Thanks for that question. Where's David? We'll get to another question here from the audience. David.
Yeah, David here from the Mowing Division in Canada. It's a question for Jim. Other than continuing to build on the success of Jim's Mowing in Canada, which of the current divisions could we open in Canada successfully?
Awesome.
The interesting thing is that it's not so much the division, it's the leadership. I mean, cleaning is a great division, but it wasn't always. It was when Haydar took over that it became a great division. At a long time, it was like Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. So there was everything else was midget. Yes. And then you get the right people in charge and it takes over. So I think it sort of depends on who's available, but any division could be great. Dog wash could work. The thing about what we've got in Canada, we've got a brand that's well known, just in British Columbia. So people know the brand. So, I mean, I know Dog Wash has been talking about it. We'd love to see Dog Wash over there. Certainly cleaning, that would be a great one. Building inspections is a great division too. So maybe test and tag. I'd look not so much at the division, but the person, because when you look at why divisions work, it's always the leader that makes the difference. You know, pool care was going nowhere until Brett Blair took it over, and now it's got over 100. He's great people, great leaders is what counts.
And it's great that you come over. Obviously, do we have all new Canadian franchisees come to here for the training? Is that what we've put in place? Is it a standard thing?
Yeah, I think it's supposed to happen. It's a great model, because I mean, when you come here, you see the difference, don't you? Absolutely. What you see in Canada is a very pale reflection of what Jim's is really about. When you're here, when you talk to everybody who's been around for so long, and you get to understand what the culture is and why we do the things that we do, you get a totally different vision, which is fantastic. Maybe one day you'll start something up in Canada for us. Look around and be the pioneer. Because actually that's how it happens. Most leaders come from within.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you get somebody who was, you know, like Sharon, who runs the dog wash division, done a fantastic job. She bought a cleaning franchise about, how long ago was that? 6 years?
Not long.
6 years ago. Bought a cleaning franchise. She came in, was a great franchisee, bought a region, was fantastic at that, got other regions started. And then I headhunted her to come to...
There's your 1,000 franchisees right there.
He's never forgiven me. I'm taking dog wash, but I mean, she's just so good. And now dog wash is exploding all over the place. So, you know, you never know. You might be the man who makes something work in Canada that beats out mowing. Who knows? Maybe you want to start cleaning. I don't know. I don't know why anybody would want to clean. That could be a gardener.
We'll speak out.
There's a question on the line for you from a cleaning franchisor, which relates directly to what Jim was saying then, and Ali and Haydar. So is Enver Bagrianic?
Yes.
So I think he's from Blinds, here from Jim's Blinds and Repairs. How does Jim decide on opening up a new division? Is it all down to who will start a new division, or Jim looks into a lot more detail, such as? Also, how does he feel when a new division doesn't succeed? Thanks.
Look, once again, it's always to do with the person behind it. If somebody comes along with an existing model that looks good, then we start it up. It's incredibly challenging. I feel very upset when something doesn't work out. It's hard to take. Though mainly it's not so much the division, it's the people. If people come in and fail, like when we started up interior design, and I got 4 franchisees and all of them were failing. That was horrifying. But what we did is we got them all cleaning franchises. Basically made a deal and worked out back, so they got free cleaning franchises, and one of them's now...
2 of them franchisors out of it, I think. It was Josh and Nicole.
No,
Just
Nicole.
Right.
So one of those people who actually failed is now a very successful cleaning franchisor. She actually
does the training.
Helps with the training, and she's getting great results from that too. So what hurts me when people fail, it's not so much the division failing, but it's the people failing. But it's not easy to run a successful division. It really isn't. There's only a few people that have just been incredibly successful. People like Haydar and Ali and Paul and Sharon and
Brett,
and there's others too. And we've got some great resources in house, like Archie is great at those kind of things too. So you just got to have the right leader. But I think anything can work. Honestly, I don't think there's anything we can't do. It's just finding the right people. And there's entrepreneurial talent within gyms. Amongst our nearly 4,000 franchisees, there's probably fantastic talent. Sometimes I think we could somehow reach in and pull some of that out. We've got great leaders.
Thanks for that one. That's a great question, Enver. Where's Jake? Do you want to read out Jake's question on behalf of him? So Jake's actually our great producer who's sitting behind there. He does a lot of the content work with me, with Jim. So he's got a question for you, Jim.
Where is Jake?
It's behind the black screen there.
So Jake's question is, Jim, applying the theory of biohistory, how could ancient civilizations have prospered longer than they did?
They couldn't have. They just couldn't do it because wealth and urbanization is incredibly destructive of character, and in the end it drags civilizations down. The only thing that can save a civilization now, including ours, is an understanding of the basic science, and it's the first time in human history it's been possible, at least theoretically, to create the kind of world we want. But we have to understand the science.
No, you can't get a book, Jake, so we won't pick that one. So thanks everyone who's leaving some questions, and Muzz Olmez, who's your son, obviously has got a great lineup, so that's great for you to hear you on there, Muzz, and meeting you a few times. Now, I just want to mention something that I wrote down as well. There's a little story I want to chuck in real quickly. Did you know that Ali's brother-in-law gave you a ride?
It was an Uber.
Yeah, it's a.
Oh, really?
Yeah, probably about 3 years ago, from Moolbach to the airport.
Oh, wow.
Tell the story.
Well, he actually called us after it, but apparently he was driving you he picked you up from your home next door, and he was taking you to the airport. And he realised it was Jim, and he said, it's, we know Haydar is, the cleaning office just around the corner. He goes, you want to pop in? And apparently he said, no, it's all right, we'll just go straight to the airport.
Well, I probably would have to catch a plane.
Yeah.
Seriously.
So would you have stopped?
Yeah,
that time.
yeah, of course I would.
Oh, that would have been awesome.
Now, I know we're talking something a bit.
I'd love to see your office, and I'm just not much of a traveller. It's a long. You live so far away.
It's only an hour.
Yeah, well,
we're working on something.
We're working on something, so maybe let you know, Jim. In September, we might go out there and do this out there and have the franchisees come
You
in.
could go to your office. I'm okay with that.
Do this from there, and any franchisee in the area, obviously cleaning in the cleaning group, but any franchisee in general is welcome to come along. And it'd be great to actually maybe have franchisees who are in the system ask specific questions off you guys, and it'd be great for transparent
I'd like to
content.
see the house of yours too. Actually, I've heard so much about it. But,
maybe do it from the house.
Never seen it.
What about Cyprus, Jim? I reckon we need to go to in Cyprus.
No, I'm not getting on a plane.
Yuck. So, guys, thanks for all those questions and comments that have come through. So now I asked you to mark down some stuff during there regarding the books. Was there any questions or comments that you can remember that you want to maybe give these books away to? Signed. Yeah, yourself. Was there anything that resonated with you that you made maybe a note?
Well, I like the ATO question from Peter.
All right, so let's give that one to Peter. So we'll get Jim to sign that one. Was there anything from you, Ali?
I actually want to give Peter some prop.
Okay, we'll go for the product then. All right, so what about you, Ali?
I think Mike's question was good, but we won't give him the book. I think Emma from Division Startup question earlier was a good question.
What about you, Jim? Was there anything in particular for you? I saw you mark one
like
down.
what you asked about lessons learned. I think that's a good question. So whatever you like, would you like one of the books? You take a choice. Whichever one you want.
Yeah, and I think I was gonna give it to the same bloke regarding the service is more expensive because it got a good answer. So I like that one as well. And we'll obviously after you got I think 9 bottles or something, we'll give a few around.
Awesome.
Yeah. So thank you to everyone who wrote those questions and actually for hanging around. I know it's a bit cold in here. Appreciate Ali and Haydar's time as well. A lot of great stuff, and obviously Jim's Cleaning's everywhere on Facebook, and they're going to be a lot more present on Facebook as well with this new thing in place with census, which is great to hear. Looking forward to seeing how that goes. And Jim's Cleaning, you can just punch him into Google, you'll find the website, everything about Ali and Haydar as well. YouTube as well. There's some great interviews with the guys in the podcast. And make sure you tune in again from next week at 7 o'clock to ask some more Jim. And we will be doing a live one of these out at your office now.
Awesome.
So Jim does know. It'll be sometime in September. So if you are a franchisee watching in Melbourne and you say, well, Jim never comes to the meetings, well, we are going to do it. So you can come out there and ask any question you want of Ali, Haydar or Jim. And it'll be all on video too. So if you want to hold them accountable to anything.
We might do it a weigh-in as well.
Yeah, why not? Why not? It probably,
8 week challenge. Awesome.
Good idea. All right. Do you want to do that?
Yep.
All right. Cool. Let's do it. It's a good form of accountability. We'll do that. So, is there anything you want to leave us with tonight, or anything like that, or?
Thank you for having us. I've really enjoyed this. This is very out of my comfort zone, and I actually enjoyed it. I think it's something different.
I appreciate it. I know it's a bit tough for people who come on board. So any Zor or any Z who we do come on, I know it's a massive effort, and really do appreciate it.
Thanks, John. Thanks.
Okay. So thanks, guys. We'll see you again next week at 7 o'clock, and make sure you leave some questions. And we're looking forward to having your company again. And appreciate everyone who hanged around here tonight. So until then, have a good night.
Yeah.
Thank you.